Secretary Austin, this Monday, the Taliban seized control of a key district of Kunduz province in the north of Afghanistan, and it's the latest in a series of recent battlefield victories after peace talks have stalled. Dozens of districts have been taking over the Taliban since May 1st, when NATO began withdrawing. And you've said that you, quote, "We're looking at the situation every day with a fresh set of eyes to see if you know the pace we are setting is the appropriate pace," unquote. So given the accelerating pace of Taliban victories and control of key districts since we've been withdrawing since May 1st, how are things going? I mean, is our withdrawal at an appropriate pace when they're picking up all these districts around the country?
Well, thank you. We are focused on, and the task that we have at hand is to conduct our retrograde in a safe, orderly, and responsible fashion. We've developed a very detailed plan to do that, and we have accomplished the task according to plan thus far, and really provided for the safety of not only our forces but our allies as well, and we'll remain focused on that.
And as a follow-up on that, none of us want to see a bloodbath after we withdraw unless you said there'd be a small presence guarding diplomatic personnel, but none of us want to see a bloodbath against women and children in particular, or against former U.S. supporters like translators. So how are we going to prevent that? I mean, how will the over-the-horizon process work, which I'm kind of skeptical about?
Yeah. So I would just point out to you on the over-the-horizon piece, we're doing over-the-horizon now. We don't have very much ISR on the ground in Afghanistan. It's coming from the Gulf countries. And our fighter support is also coming from either platforms at sea or from the Gulf countries as well. So we can do that. We have been doing it, and we're doing it very effectively. What we'd like to do going forward is shorten the legs that we're required to utilize by getting an agreement with one of the neighboring countries to base some of our ISR in one of those countries. But, you know, we're doing that effectively now. So it is not only possible, it is what we're doing. In terms of taking care of women and girls in Afghanistan, let me also at the very top say, I really appreciate the bipartisan support that we've seen for this. And I would also point to you, that, and you've mentioned this, that our plan is to maintain an embassy there, and through the embassy, we'll continue to work programs that are focused on women and girls. And I would defer to Secretary Blinken to really outline that. I don't want to speak for him.
Okay, thank you. And we all do bipartisanly share those concerns. Is it at all possible to keep Bagram Air Force Base?
Could I make a comment, Secretary? So a couple of quick comments here. On Bagram, is not necessary tactically or operationally for what we're going to try to do here with Afghanistan. Consolidate on Kabul in support of their government. But to back up a little bit on the momentum of the Taliban, so to speak, there's 81 district centers that are currently, we think, are underneath Taliban control. That's out of 419 district centers. There's no provincial capital that is underneath Taliban control, and there's 34 of those. It is true that the Taliban are sniping at and picking off outposts, et cetera, and they have seized some district centers. 60% of the 81 were seized last year, and the others since the last 2 months or so. So yes, we're concerned, we're watching it, but there's a 300,000 plus or minus military force, Afghanistan Army and police force, and it is their job to defend their country. We're going to continue to, we're having a new relationship.
Again, I do apologize. Gentleman's time has expired.
I will. I owe you a better answer, and I'll get you one in writing.
Okay.